everyone, from BX257 here again with another vintage G.I. Joe toy review. And today I'll be looking at the 1984 Cobra Saboteur, Firefly. Now, I'll be perfectly honest and say that I realize that Firefly has a humongous following, and probably deservedly so. However, I was never a big fan of Firefly because I never had the figure as a kid. But I was familiar with the Firefly character because I knew him from the cartoon and from the comic book. Unfortunately, he doesn't have very many appearances in the cartoon, and his appearances in the early 80s Marvel run of the comic book, oh wow, it doesn't really depict Firefly as being very good at all. I seem to recall his first appearance, he was quickly captured by Zartan. Yeah, he's captured by his fellow bad guy. It's very strange, I know. Later on, in a much more prolonged arc, I think he, Destro, and one of the brand new Crimson Guards goes after Snake Eyes. And you know how that ends. Unfortunately, it's really in that story arc that really sort of cements in my mind that maybe Firefly is kind of an amateur and not really worth his reputation. However, I am not familiar with anything that happened after, you know, the late 80s into the 90s, and obviously I've never even touched any of the G.I. Joe comic books from the 2000s and up, so I don't know what sort of backstory was really built onto Firefly during those years, and that is probably what I'm missing here. Firefly is, however, a very interesting figure by himself. The following that he has really reminds me of Boba Fett, or at least Boba Fett before Attack of the Clones. He just seems to have that sort of mystique that turns a lot of people on.
And here's Firefly, loose. He has a very nice, very practical sculpt to him, and the camouflage certainly helps. He comes with a submachine gun, his backpack, his Demolitions backpack, which has an opening tool panel, which is sculpted on both sides. And of course his infamous walkie-talkie, which everyone seems to lose, unfortunately. Firefly himself came with either very dark eyes or sometimes very light brown eyes. One of the things I've always been curious about is Firefly has always been depicted as more of a mercenary, and yet here he has a Cobra symbol. As a matter of fact, he's called a Cobra Saboteur instead of just a mercenary. Another nice little thing is a little bit of detail that you sometimes can't really see, but on his forearm he has a little dagger. How French submachine guns would have that extra bit, and this top portion here is not actually the magazine here, but actually also part of the housing, which would move upwards or rotate upwards in order to help compact the gun even more for carry. I've always loved his the sculpt of this. The little socket wrenches in here, complete with the socket bits in here. And one thing that's always puzzled me is, why exactly does Firefly come with a walkie-talkie? Who's he talking to? Well, that's all the time I have right now. Please check out my Facebook page for more information and behind-the-scenes photos for these reviews. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for next time to see another 1980s G.I. Joe toy review. See you then.